Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday. It's January 2nd. It's about 6 in the morning here in D.C. And the first thing we need to say is Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. And just really try to take a moment and think about how great things were in 2017. Try to remember the good parts. The bad parts we can deal with later. But take a moment, take a pause, and just think about some of the great things in your life. I have many. Everybody does. It doesn't matter where you are in life. You've got something good from last year. So I just want to push that pause button and say Happy New Year, and just take credit for some of the good things that happened last year. So today for me is really like the first real day of the new year. New Year's Day, January 1st it's my daughter's birthday. It's just a time to celebrate a new year. And so yesterday was a family day. It was a paperwork day early in the day, and then a family day the rest of the day. So Lauren turned 15 yesterday. So we did all the things that come with a kid's birthday. So she had a friend overnight. The friend stayed with us all day. Then we went to grandma's for dinner and cake and presents. And so it was really just a day for a day about Lauren. And that is, for me, that's important because those birthdays around the holidays can get mixed up or even lost. And so we've worked really hard not to let that happen to Lauren. So that's kind of why I didn't do much with YouTube or didn't interact a whole lot with you all yesterday. Gosh, another thing too is it's 12 degrees here in DC. That is cold. I mean, we're just not. That's something that happens fairly rarely here. And so it curtails a lot of things like cars and garages. You can even see some of the big YouTubers are struggling with winter content. Nick's doing donuts with Dirty Max. Mike's struggling with, trying to do a truck thing with his dad. It's just tough when it's this cold to do much outside. And the kind of cars that we like to do things with really detest that cold, icy, snowy weather. I know I'm struggling with the tires on my cars. I've done the tire swap out on the Hellcat, so I'll probably start driving it tomorrow. And my Trackhawk has all seasons on it. I've done tire swaps on 2 of the vehicles just for that reason. So I really want to spend this time with you today talking about a couple of things. I'm not going to deal with questions today. I think there are 2 major points I want to get out to you and really get into your head and hopefully, get into your soul and get into your planning and your days as we start 2018. So we'll do those in a minute. But my introduction to the topics are, I think one of the things you're going to realize, today's first day back. I haven't been here in 13 days, so it's been nearly 2 weeks since I've sat in here as CEO Dave and really talked to you, from my office. And I got up a little bit early, got in here a little bit early. I know a lot of the world is going to struggle with that conversion from days off and what time that means to your work days. And so rather than struggle with it, I just chose to get up a little bit early and get in here and get moving. Today's the day the world starts waking up again. That's one of the bigger travel days again. I know airline tickets are like half price today versus trying to get home yesterday. And so even DHA, we have several employees that are traveling today. So today's the wake-up day. And as part of that, I think what you might find is some of us are going to be a little bit depressed because I think the huge revelation is this morning versus 3-4 days ago is the only thing that changed in our lives was the year. So the 7 went to an 8. And for a lot of us, that's the only change that's occurred. So I think sometimes we put a little bit of a mythical hope into the new year, but just be different. And really, that's the core of what I want to talk about today. All the burdens we carried, making payroll, paying bills, they're all still here. All the to-do lists, all the responsibilities, all the chores that we had a couple days ago are still with us today. And so rather than being depressed about it, I just want to talk to you about what I do about it, what I think you can do about it. And it's really only depressing if you don't have a plan, and it's really only depressing if you're not taking action. And so what I really like you to do is take some action. What's the worst part of your life? Put a plan in place and take a couple of small steps towards it. And I know one of the things that sometimes we forget is we have to build up momentum. We have to, if we feel like we failed in a lot of things, we need to pick something small and do it and gain a small success and then take the next step from there. So it could be as simple as literally going to bed early tonight, getting to bed on time, getting up tomorrow on time, and marking that as a success, and then doing that again the next day. It could be taking if you have an action list, like I keep action item lists, so sometimes I look at it, I go, what's the thing I want to do least today? And that's the thing I start with. And I've already done some of that today. Like all my emails processed, all the mail from the last 2 weeks from the company has been dealt with. So some of those crappy things I just do right away. And so just keep that in mind. Pick something small, something doable, actually do it. Take credit for that, and then build up on momentum. Give yourself the chance to feel a little success. Yeah, and just so you're taking the first step up the staircase to a life that you really want, or to the company you really want, or to the income you really want. So the main theme is take action, okay? That's the action, that's today, is take action and do something. Actually do it. Don't stop planning it, stop thinking about it, stop wanting to do it. Actually do something. Because doing an action is, like I told you the other day, for me it's the antidote to all the bad feelings, the depressions, the not making progress. Action, doing is a great antidote for those pitfalls. And so, lots of times the big saying out in the world is, no goal is too big, no dream is too large. But I find that people say those words, and what I see the next day is really what happens is that gets translated into no stumbling block is too small, no objective is too small to stop my progress. And so I see people say big words and then get stopped for crazy things, and this is what I hear in my world. Well, Trump's doing this, or Congress is doing that, or the news is showing me this, or what about Brexit's back in the news this morning, or all the civil unrest, or all that. Very little of that impacts us. I know for me, none of that impacts my life, really. On a day-to-day basis, my life is no different today than it was a year ago because of Trump's election, or what Congress is doing, or what all the news is. So sometimes we like to take that and strap it to ourselves and add the weight. And I would just suggest, connect to your dream, put your plan in place, get some actions going, do something, and just do not get distracted by all the crap going on. In fact, I would just recommend to you, at least think about disconnecting from all that crap. Stop listening to the news. Just stop reading it, stop watching it, just stay away from it. I know it's improved my life and my wife's life substantially, and I don't allow it to be brought into here. About the only news that we bring into the company is when they talk about shutting the U.S. government down. These continuing resolutions, I don't know if that means anything to you, but the government runs itself on these continuing resolutions rather than pass a budget. And as we approach a date, it could mean all my folks have to stay home if the government were to shut down. So we do pay attention to that. But that's it. The rest of that, we just don't allow it to come in. The elections, all the political crap, and we just don't bring it in here. And I just recommend try to leave that out. So beyond the doing theme, the thing that I find it hard to convey in a video, but results versus activity. And what I found is, as I've onboarded hundreds of people into my organization at DHA, they love the interview process, and they love the part of the interview when we talk about we are a results-based organization. We are not an activities-based company. I don't really care how many hours you work here. I care about what you accomplish. And man, you go, wow, that sounds really good, Dave. And people always do that. They love that sentence. I love being judged by what I produce, not on my activity. They love that. Then they come in the door. And I think sometimes you guys might be struggling with this too. well, I worked so hard, I put hours into this, you know, or I put my allotted time in, but you didn't accomplish the goal. And so I know a number of times when I come in and sit down with, you know, the annual review process or the performance review process, and we sit down and say, hey, we set out these goals for you to attain this revenue level or this gross margin level or this size of staff or this new business target, or, you know, we measure these things in head count or dollar value, and we missed it. You know, we didn't win that one. You didn't make that money target, or you didn't meet that client satisfaction target, or we didn't meet the growth target. And lots of times I get back is, well, I worked really hard at it. And the really cold part of me is, I don't care. You know, it helps that you put in the effort, but if you work really hard at something but don't obtain a result, it's almost as if you didn't do it. And so really take a look at what you're trying to achieve and make sure that achievement goal is written down for yourself. And don't measure how hard you work at it, measure how close are you to attaining the goal. You know, if it's starting a company, did you form the LLC? Did you pick the name? Did you get the EIN? Have you got the first client? Did you make the first dollar? Whatever those goals are, you know, they should be rather light switch like. They should not be too gray. I don't like dials, sliding knobs, things like that. I like targets. Did you do it or did you not? And you don't have to be hard on yourself if you didn't make it. If you got really close, then you give yourself some credit. But if it's pretty light switch, did you start it or did you not? Did you form it or did you not? Did you make the dollar or did you not? And then be honest and use that as incentive to work the next step, to work a little more, to work a little harder, to get you to, yes, I can say yes to that. So just try to convert your life in all aspects to it, if you can, to a results-based discussion inside yourself or inside your company. You know, did you attain the result? Not how hard did you work at it? That's a tough conversion. Once you make it, it's pretty easy to sustain that change, but converting from how hard I worked on something to did you achieve the goal is tough. So the second aspect of that, of the do theme today, so we've talked results versus activity, and now it's cause versus effect. And I see sometimes people, they read facts or they see statistics and they go after them in the wrong way. And the one that's so funny, the one that just sticks in my mind even years later is millionaires in the United States. More millionaires drive Ford F-150 pickup trucks than any other vehicle in the world. And I thought that was an interesting statistic. But some people will then translate that to, well, I'm going to go buy a Ford F-150 and that will help me become a millionaire. And that's the cause versus the effect. You know, and it's a little bit funny, and I doubt too many of you are sitting here going, yeah, I'm going to go buy a Ford F-150 and that's going to make me a millionaire. I don't think too many people really think like that. But this is the example that's easy to understand. And so if you see somebody's behavior or life pattern or something, their house or their cars or their spending habits, and you try to emulate that, you're emulating the effect and not the cause. And so back to the F-150 example, you know, people who are millionaires have a spending pattern that they choose to buy a basic vehicle rather than a bunch of fancy ones. And so can we emulate that behavior? Can we emulate the cause of that? And so I would just ask you, as you try to emulate somebody, if there's a model in your life, a role model, a business type, if there's a business that you're trying to model your business after, or a business that you're trying to model your startup after, make sure you understand the basics. It's not that they run at a really nice place, or they pay themselves really well, or, you know, be careful about what you're emulating. And again, it's back, in my opinion, it's back to a plan. Where's the money? How are you spending the money? Let's see, we're at 15 minutes. I kind of want to be done with that. I don't want to make these too long. Again, I'll just say Happy New Year. I hope 2018 is great. You can make it. You know, something that Keith Cunningham taught me was you predict your future by creating it. So I know 2018 is going to be a great year for me. I know it, with my family, with my business, with my farm, with my garage, and my cars, with my YouTube channel. I know it because I've got a plan in place, and you see me working it, right? Doing these videos every day, or really maybe six days a week, sometimes twice a day, is me working my plan towards my YouTube channel. You know, each one of my cars has a bit of a plan. My garage has a bit of a plan. In fact, one of the problems I'm having is my garage kind of ran over the end of my plan for it, and I've got to start planning for the next phase of the garage. Some of the cars I found quicker than I expected, and they came in the door quicker, so I need a plan for those. So sometimes you overrun the end of your plan, and that's just another, that's not a problem, that's just something we need to address. So please focus on what you want to change. Please put that plan in place to drive it where you want it to be. Convert that plan into daily action steps, and take a couple. Take one today and love that success. Bathe in it, feel in it, soak in that great feeling of having done something. And that's great. Ask questions. I have a number of questions from the last few days, so I appreciate it. We'll get back to answers, Q&As tomorrow. I don't know if I'll do a car session tonight or not. We're not supposed to, it's not supposed to get much above about 15 or 18 degrees today. Tomorrow and the next day are even worse. So we'll see. But I hope you had a great New Year's Eve. Hope you had a great New Year's Day. And plan and take action. Make that your new mantra for 2018, and it'll be a great year. We'll make it happen together. Good morning, everybody. Have a great day. Have a great Tuesday. Have a great launch into 2018 today. Talk to you later. Bye.